The BBC is to cover the cost of providing free television licenses for over 75s, the government has confirmed. Ministers said the move would be phased in from 2018 to 19. In return, rules on paying for catch-up services such as iPlayer might be introduced and the license fee will rise with inflation. Funding free license fees for over 75s cost the government £608 million in 2013 to 14, about a fifth of the BBC's budget. The BBC said it was the right deal, in difficult economic circumstances. BBC Director General Tony Hall said, "Far from being a cut, the way this financial settlement is shaped gives us, effectively, flat license fee income across the first 5 years of the next charter." Shadow Culture Secretary Chris Bryant said Labour would oppose the government's plans if they were a smash-and-grab raid on the BBC. Key points. The BBC to take responsibility for funding free TV license fees for the over 75s. The move will be phased in over 2018 to 19, with sole responsibility from 2020 to 21. The government could allow the BBC to charge the license fee to people who watch TV using the iPlayer. Decriminalising non-payment of the license fee will be carefully considered by the government. Subject to charter renewal, the license fee to rise in line with CPI inflation over the next charter period. BBC funding of the government's broadband programme will be phased out by 2020 to 21. The current BBC charter, which sets out the corporation's remit and how it is governed, is due for renewal at the end of 2016. In a statement to the Commons, Culture Secretary John Whittingdale said the charter renewal process would ensure the BBC could adapt to a changing media landscape. Mr. Bryant called the announcement an utter shambles after the plans were revealed in a Sunday newspaper ahead of Wednesday's budget. In an angry exchange in the Commons, Mr. Bryant stressed the process must be open and transparent, adding it was no way to run a whelk stall, let alone the world's most respected broadcaster. Modernize license fee. Mr. Whittingdale said he was pleased the BBC had agreed to play its part in helping tackle the government's challenging fiscal position while further reducing its reliance on taxpayers. Lord Hall said there had been intense negotiations to ensure the BBC had secured a strong deal for our audiences. "If anything, I believe it will put the BBC slightly up," he said. "Crucially, it gives us room for investment in the first 2 years of that charter. This will help us to manage the transition we all know is coming to an online world." In a letter to Mr. Whittingdale, BBC Trust Chairman Rona Fairhead said the Trust accepted the decision although we cannot endorse the process by which it has been reached. "We are disappointed that license fee payers have not been given any say in the major decisions about the BBC's future funding," she said. "However, we accept that those decisions now set a clear financial framework, subject to the terms, for a charter review process that will focus on what the BBC provides in return for its funding. We will want to make sure the public are at the centre of that debate." Mr. Whittingdale also confirmed plans to bring forward legislation to modernise the licence fee next year to cover public service broadcast catch-up TV. He added the government would carefully consider decriminalising non-payment of the licence fee. When asked if over 75s would be means tested to determine whether an individual or household was eligible for the free license, Mr. Whittingdale replied, "The commitment made in the Conservative manifesto that all households with an over 75-year-old will be eligible to a free TV licence will be honoured throughout this Parliament. As requested by the BBC, they will take responsibility for this policy from there on." Speaking on Radio 4, former BBC Trust Chairman Diane Coyle said, "It's the second time the government has forced a deal on the BBC. There has been no consultation with the public and it's a major change in the BBC's responsibilities. The public who pay for the BBC should have been consulted." Mr. Whittingdale added the government, depending on the Royal Charter Agreement, expected the licence fee to rise in line with Consumer Price Index, CPI, inflation over the next charter period. "I don't think it will balance out in the long run," said Ms. Coyle. "I welcome getting the inflation link back, but the number of people over 75 is going up all the time, and it's not clear to me in the long time it can avoid service closures to cover it.